Cant, when you spoke at Freedom Fastlane Live last year, you mentioned that in 2007, when the economy crashed, that you went through a dark time. You were very stressed. You were afraid you were going to lose it all. Your wealth came down. Mm-hmm. What did you do during that time in order to come back on top? Because now more people know who you are than ever before. You're wealthier than ever. Mm-hmm. What did you do during the dark times in order to come back on top?
Well, it was a tough time. Everybody was hurting.
Yeah, they were.
I thought you weren't going to bring this up, but 2007 was was one of the hardest times of my life because when things started, coming down, I had to sell. And it's hard for me to talk about it, but I had to sell one of my submarines. And that ain't something that I was, I didn't want to give that up, but we all had to make sacrifices. 2007 was a tough time. Some people lost homes. Some people lost, savings. I lost a submarine. I mean, I sold it. I still made some good money. Some Colombian guys doing transportation. But they had like a business doing some transportation from Colombia up to United States. They're entrepreneurs. Gave me my book and a submarine, and I said, "Go for it, boys." Escondido.
That does make sense.
Escondido.
Personally.
Spanish.
I understand. Personally, when you were afraid that you were going to lose it all, how did you come back on top in order to get to the point where you are now?
I bought my submarine back. I'll tell you something right now. I'll tell you a secret most people in the world ain't never going to understand, and that's why they ain't going to be successful. And that is, you show me a man who owns a submarine who ain't confident. You can't. There ain't nothing that'll make you feel good and feel like you're on top of the world than a submarine, which is ironic because you're under it, but it feels like you're on top of the world. You get under the water right there, you look out at the sharks.
But you said that you sold one of your submarines.
But that was my favorite. It's the biggest submarine.
Why would you sell your favorite?
I had to sell the biggest one. I sold one of my cars with doors that did that too.
Cant, I just want to dive right into something because you claim to be the
submarine pun. I like it. Ching chang.
I'm not cheersing you.
Ching.
You mentioned that you're the world's greatest salesman.
Why did you mention it? I proclaimed it as fact because it is.
Sure, let's assume that's true.
Assuming is for the weak.
Please let me ask a damn question.
Oh my God.
You claim to be the world's greatest salesman, and yet you had to sell one of your personal assets in order to make it.
Yeah, you know how much I sold it for?
I don't care. I want to know why you didn't just sell something new into the marketplace in order to come back on top.
$37 million.
37 million
I sold
what?
my submarine for.
That's completely ridiculous.
Pesos are worth more.
No, they're not. They are
yeah,
not
there's more of them out there, so they're worth more.
That's not how.
You don't get how worldwide internationals economics works.
I actually have a background in economics. I know it quite well.
What does background mean? I got a degree in cashing checks and breaking necks.